I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I don't even know how to talk about this movie without spoilers. But what I'll do my best. This whole video is just gonna be me like using the most vague terms possible. Like, oh, like that event in the second act was crazy, or that scene with that one person and Spider-Man was really like, what the fuck? So I watched what is certain to be the biggest movie of the year, Spider-Man No Way Home, what feels like the 17th Marvel property this year, but they saved the best for last cuz this is one of the best MCU films. And it's weird to say what I'm about to say for the third movie in a trilogy and the 20 something movie just in the MCU, but this feels like the first like Spider-Man movie. You know what I'm saying? And I know that's weird to say in a movie where, and I'm just speaking off of what is shown in the trailers, trust me, of with Doctor Strange and a bunch of other villains. It's weird to say that that is going to be the Spider-Man movie, but this is quintessential Spider-Man. Everything, and trust me, I really like Homecoming. I really like Far From Home. I like those movies, and I think they're very good, and I'll defend them. But the Spider-Man that, like, let's face it, that I know, right, from the previous movies, Peter Parker's struggle. Peter Parker's just, he's being like very naive but also selfless, so you can't help but kind of root for him even though he might not make the best choices. Just feeling the weight of the world on his kid shoulders. That that is kind of what I know as Spider-Man, along with some of the other stuff like being broke, you know what I'm saying? It's here. It's in this movie. And that's something that has definitely been missing from the other two. Once again, I like those two. But then again, I also can't really complain if someone's like the first two Spider Man films are him being Iron Man Jr. I can't even really defend that, nor do I really want to defend that. I think they're still good, entertaining movies with Spider Man in them. But this one feels like Spider Man, especially when you get to the second half, which is where this movie fucking ramps up a bit, bruh. The first half of the film kind of feels like what you're a little bit familiar with, and it does pick off right off for Far From Home, but it's still a little light, a little quippy. It's the MCU Spider-Man kind of tone that we're all used to. But like I said, the second half of this movie, Lord have mercy. When they said it's definitely the darkest Spider-Man movie, I mean, for the MCU, for sure. I mean, if we're talking all of them, I mean, I'd have to think about it, but it would certainly be up there. And see, I hate this because so many people just say the same thing for MCU movies. But in terms of hand to hand combat, the action scenes in this are fucking brutal. I mean, it very impressive shit. Good job, John Watts and the stunt coordinators and choreographers. Very good. They're honestly, like, yeah, there's obviously a lot of CGI. I mean, what the fuck do you expect when there's villains like Electro and Lizard and Sandman? But when they do hand to hand combat, which is actually more than you would think, and especially it's still there in the third act, fucking brutal, bro. Willem Dafoe, give him an Oscar, mate. But, what sets this movie apart is the emotional beats in this. I don't know how you guys feel, but going back to the quintessential Peter Parker Spider Man, I want to see him struggle, right? I want to see him go through some shit. That's why I like the scene in Homecoming where he's trying to lift the shit when Vulture dropped all that bitch on him and he's like, come on, Spider Man, and he tries to lift it. I like that kind of stuff. This movie, he goes through some shit now. Let's be real. He goes through some shit. People were crying in my press screening, critics just sitting there. I can hear them. They're just crying. I teared up a little bit. Me, I teared up. I'm a fucking cyborg, dude. I didn't feel anything for like Coda, right? I felt shit, and yes, that goes back to just being a kid and just growing up with Spider-Man with this character, but this movie, I mean, it worked on me, man. What am I gonna say? It worked on me. And tying with that, this is for sure Tom Holland's best performance, not just in Spider-Man, but in movies. I am 100% sure there are more Tom Holland fans than me, and who have probably seen every single thing he's been in since he was a kid. I have not. I've seen some of his stuff more recently in the last few years. This is his best performance by far. I mean, especially, yes, as Spider-Man, but I also think just as an actor, because let's face it, Uncharted, Cherry, wait, Uncharted hasn't come out yet. Chaos Walking. See, I even get that bitch confused. The entire cast is great, all right? Zendaya definitely gets more to do as MJ. Marissa Tomei gets more to do as Aunt May. Jacob Batalon as Ned gets some stuff to do. They're all impressive. The cast of villains is great. Alfred Molina, my guy. They're just letting him cook out there. Just letting him cook, letting him marinate. And him and Jamie Foxx, a little bit to a lesser extent, but to an even bigger extent, Willem Dafoe, seeing them reprise their roles, bro. That shit was crazy. I said this in my Letterboxd review, which I haven't even rated this movie yet, and I still don't know what I'm going to rate it as I'm speaking right now. But that scene in Ratatouille where Anton Ego eats the ratatouille and he like flashes back to his younger self, that was me watching this movie when Willem Dafoe came in and started speaking, and I heard that laugh. He's just the best, dude. He's just the best. He just understands the assignment every time. He should just get an Oscar, honestly. What the fuck are we doing, guys? Give him an Oscar for this, dude. I don't care. And I know people are going to talk about fan service and nostalgia, and is this actually a good movie, or are you just feeling things because you're nostalgic? Listen, they're all valid points. At the end of the day, nostalgia, if it works for you, it fucking works. Personally, I think the fan service here and the callbacks and the nostalgia isn't even that much, or maybe I shouldn't say that much. It's used better and more sprinkled throughout the movie. For instance, I did not like Ghostbusters Afterlife because at the end I felt like they were just cramming everything Ghostbusters related in the end to try to make you feel something. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people who fucking love that movie and who fucking cried at the ending of Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I'm not going to say shit about that because they obviously have those strong feelings for Ghostbusters, just like I have strong feelings for fucking Spider-Man. So I guess it's a fair point. I think it's done rather well, but that's just me. I am 100% biased. I like Spider-Man is like the first movie I remember seeing in a theater, if I'm being honest. So fuck off. Now I am waiting to rewatch this with my girlfriend and my friends. We did get opening night tickets. For me, I had to get 11 of those bitches. Fuck them. I might not do that shit next time. But anyway, I am planning to rewatch it tomorrow as I'm recording. So I'm curious to see if my rating changes at all, because as much as I love press screenings and I hope I get invited to them every single time, and I'm very grateful and privileged, it's a press screening. It's not that full. So, and because a lot of them are critics, even though my theater was okay there, you know, it's different from watching it with just the public in a packed theater, which, you know, hopefully everyone is safe and hopefully there's like fucking screaming and cheering, because that's the kind of shit I want. In terms of negatives, I mean, I've seen some people say the first half is worse than the second half. I mean, it's like, yeah, it is, but like, does that mean the first half is bad? I don't think so. I do think sometimes things can get rushed over very quick because there's so much story. But so, you know, some people will probably just be like, wow, we really just glossed over that moment in like 5 minutes. So that thing I can see. The humor is still kind of hit or miss for me. But I don't know. That's kind of it for now. I guess it can get a little bit messy and disjointed, especially when in like the first half-ish towards the second act, where they're really trying to kind of gear the story and these plot points towards one certain place. So I guess that could be something. I am still in between two ratings right now. I genuinely don't know. You know what? I thought I was going to give it the lower rating. I'm going to give it the higher one just for now. Once again, follow me on Letterboxd if you want to see me updated. But Spider-Man No Way Home, 4.5. Oh man, that seems high. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't know if I'm going to make a spoiler review on my channel. I mean, that's not really my thing, but at the same time, I really just want to kind of, not even a spoiler review. I just want to like rant about this shit. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. We'll see. God, Willem Dafoe, man. What a fucking actor.